This was supposed to be a quiet night in the wilderness, until someone started knocking on the door. The problem is, every time he checked, there was no one there, and whatever was outside didn't stop.
Dark greetings, I am Lord Freakzilla, and this is Gothic Sagas. Here we explore deep into the shadows of reality, where the strange, the creepy, and the tragic collide. So hit that subscribe button, and together, let's venture into the darkness, where shadows dance and secrets lurk.
This unsettling footage was recorded by Jonathan, a YouTuber many viewers may recognize from his channel Happy Hippie Wild Living. Known for his upbeat personality and love for the outdoors, Jonathan spends most of his time hiking, camping, and exploring remote wilderness locations. Fear is rarely something you see in him. For more than 2 years, he has documented his quiet life in nature, sleeping in forest, exploring forgotten places, and sharing the peace he finds far from civilization. But one particular trip would take a disturbing turn. On January the 3rd, 2024, Jonathan set out alone for another winter journey deep into the wilderness. As part of his routine, he likes to sleep somewhere different each night. This time, his destination was a remote mountain shelter known as a bothy. From the outside, the small hut looked simple and welcoming, but Jonathan would learn that something very strange was waiting for him inside.
Hello there, welcome to day 435 of me living out in nature. And it's the new year, so I thought I'd do a nice long video instead of the little short minute ones I've been doing recently. Today I'm going to go find a bothy around this area somewhere. It'll be the third time I've stayed in a bothy. I've never had any guests, so third time's a charm.
As Jonathan checks in with his viewers, his mood is relaxed and cheerful, despite the cold rain and harsh winter conditions. He seems completely home, trekking through the quiet wilderness. For Jonathan, solitude isn't something to fear, it's exactly what he seeks.
The bothy I'm going to is called the White Lagan, I believe, and it's by Loch D, and I've got a bit of wood with me just in case there's no dry stuff there, so I can have a fire with ease. Not seen a single person on this hike yet, but that's how most of my days go in the winter. I like that, I get to do this in the winter mostly, and then the summer job I'm just at one place, so I miss all the crowds when I'm out in nature. There's my home in the distance. Let me zoom in. It's got the nice Scottish flag on it. Let's go see what it looks like. I've had people say I'm brave and ballsy for living this lifestyle, but there's nothing brave about it when it's doing something you love, so I don't agree with that. But I do agree with doing things you're passionate about in life. You only live once. Life goes by pretty quick, so get out there and do what you love.
When Jonathan finally spots the small cabin in the distance, a smile spreads across his face. After hours of hiking through wet, empty wilderness, a little shelter feels like a reward waiting at the end of the trail. Unaware of what the night would bring, he heads towards the hut to settle in.
Well, I have made it to my home for the night and it looks beautiful. Oh, nice bunk beds. Sweet.
After checking the inside of the shelter, Jonathan quickly realizes he has the place to himself. Satisfied with the quiet solitude, he begins unpacking his gear and preparing to spend the night. But not long after settling in, he notices something unexpected.
So more people have come in, but they've drove it. I didn't even know you could drive on this road. And I just had that family come in and they said they'd just been to a different bothy nearby and they were just searching around for another one, so they're just gonna have a little walk somewhere, and they said I might have guests tonight, so we'll see how it goes.
Jonathan chats briefly with the small family as they pass by. They aren't sure whether they'll return to stay in the hut that night, but they leave the possibility open before heading off down the trail. With daylight fading and temperatures dropping, Jonathan decides to go inside, cook dinner, and prepare for the evening.
My bed for the night. Gonna get the fire on when it gets darker. There's normally loads of candles around, but they've all been burnt out. Finish off the haggis, and of course, putting in my favourite, cayenne pepper. And as always, top it off with a little mustard. And there we have dinner fit for a little hippie. Simple and delicious.
For a while, everything feels peaceful. The small hut grows warm from the fire. Dinner is finished, and Jonathan begins settling into what should be a quiet night in the wilderness. But before long, something begins to interrupt the calm.
This will probably be me for most of the night now. I just get my music on, enjoy this beautiful fire, and then get back outside tomorrow in my hammock. I got one of them water filter straws, and it comes with 2 little bags as well, so you can attach the straw to that. But I've not got to use. Maybe this is the guests. There was no one there. I don't know if that's just the people fucking with me or something. I don't know if that's something they do. But I don't think it would be that family. If it was just a dad and his daughter and son.
From outside the cabin, strange knocking noises begin echoing through the quiet forest. Each time Jonathan checks the door, expecting to see someone standing there, no one is outside. At first he tries to laugh it off, assuming someone nearby might be playing a prank. But as the noises continue, the situation begins to feel increasingly unsettling.
Just knocking on the door again, and then I went out, but there was no one there, so I don't know what's going on, but I've not heard of any haunted bobbies or anything. I've never had weird shit. For fuck's sake. I just wanted a nice little bobby night. If you've watched all my videos before, you know I don't do shit like this. Gonna be a fun night.
Now clearly unnerved, Jonathan prepares to lie down for the night, but sleep doesn't come easily. Every shadow in the room feels darker than before, and an uncomfortable feeling creeps over him. The sense that someone might be standing outside, watching through the windows.
You're walking around into the room, and then I go in there, and it just stops. Maybe I just put my music on really loud and forget about it. Cameraman never dies right. So it's been about an hour and a half since I last made a video, and I've just been doing what I said. I've had my music on loud, I've listened to Blink, some drum and bass, some reggae, and I'm doing what I came here to do, and that's have a good fucking night. So I'm enjoying my time by this fire, and have an amazing day tomorrow, back out in nature where I belong. So peace and love.
Eventually, Jonathan decides the best thing he can do is ignore the noises. He logs off with his viewers, turns on some music, and focuses on relaxing by the fire. Thankfully, after that point, the strange disturbances finally stop.
Had a bit of an experience last night. Not really sure what was going on. Thought it was just people knocking the door and running away that were camping nearby, but it didn't seem like that when I went outside. Couldn't really explain what was happening next door with the noises, but I'm not really a believer in ghosts myself. It was a bit creepy, but I'm more of an alien guy. But if you are into ghosts and all that paranormal stuff, these are not the videos for you, because this is not what I do, this is not what I'm about. I'm just a happy hippie, hiking, living in nature, loving the world. I never have anything like this happen to me, so hopefully it's just a one-off and everything goes back to normal now. So
The following morning, Jonathan reflects on the strange events of the night before. While he tries to brush it off as a harmless prank, one unsettling detail still remains. When he stepped outside to investigate the knocking, there was never anyone there. No footprints, no voices, no movement in the surrounding wilderness. To this day, The source of the knocking at the bothy remains unexplained. Jonathan continued his wilderness adventures, but he later admitted there was one place he had no interest in returning to, that small hut near Loch D. Because sometimes in the wilderness, you may not be as alone as you think, and sometimes the sounds outside your shelter aren't coming from other campers at all. If the previous encounter left you uneasy, what happens next may be even more disturbing. Our next story follows Frank, better known online as Franco TV. Many viewers already know that Frank thrives on adrenaline, whether he's exploring abandoned places, haunted forests, or forgotten cemeteries. He rarely backs down from the unknown, but one night curiosity would lead him into a situation far more dangerous than he expected. On June the 12th, 2024, Frank decided to explore a cemetery that carried some troubling rumors. According to locals, people sometimes sneak into the graveyard at night to rob graves, searching for jewelry or valuables buried with the dead. Not exactly the kind of people you would want to encounter alone in the dark. Still, Frank pushes those concerns aside and enters the cemetery, camera rolling.
In fact, don't quote me on that. I don't know if I'm going to do it yet. It just depends on how tonight goes out. But I'm already nervous as it is. It's quiet, and I don't know who's seen me come in. That being said, let's get into the video.
Already feeling uneasy about who might be lurking nearby, Frank tries to focus on his filming instead. As he walks deeper into the cemetery, he begins explaining the layout of the area to his viewers, recalling what he noticed during a previous daytime visit. But the calm atmosphere doesn't last long.
Whatever this is, hold on, let me see if I can make it more clear. And back there, behind it on the far left, I just saw a light turn on and off. There's a chance that I might have been spotted being out here.
Off in the distance, Frank notices a light flicker briefly before disappearing into the darkness. It's a troubling sign. If someone turned that light off, it could mean they just noticed him entering the cemetery.
Hold on. I could already hear talking. Listen. It's way out there. Damn, man, I really don't want to go back out there. I hate this. I was trying to figure out another place to take you guys, but I'm currently waiting on two things that I gotta get done, and the only place I have to take you that is actually really creepy is this place. There it is again. Right over there.
Now Frank hears voices somewhere up the hill. The sound of people talking echoes faintly through the darkness. Remembering the rumors about grave robbers, he begins moving more cautiously. Running into the wrong people in a remote cemetery late at night could turn dangerous very quickly.
I still keep hearing voices around up through here and right up through over here. Right in front of me is where the mausoleum is and where I seen. You heard that? Listen. I hear somebody laughing. I don't see anyone. But I literally heard somebody laughing, and I feel like they're around me. I don't know where exactly it's coming from. Oh, I just got goosebumps. I'm getting sounds from all directions around me. I'm not sure where to look. So there's a light that just turned on in the back, right over there. I'm gonna turn off my light here. See it? On. And I think that's a motion sensor light for one of the buildings in the back. There is no one else here and something up. What? It just turned off.
At this point, it's clear that someone else is nearby. The problem is, Frank can't see anyone. The voices, laughter, and lights suggest people are moving around the graveyard. Yet every time he looks, the darkness appears empty.
I'm gonna make my way inside this mausoleum area. Only because I am kind of terrified right now. The creepiest thing is when you hear things around you, and you don't see a damn thing anywhere. I feel like there's something back behind that mausoleum, but I haven't seen anything. I just keep hearing stuff. I have not shined any flashlights yet. And I really don't want to. I just don't want anybody knowing my location. Listen. I don't see anything. I'm gonna get closer. I want to see if I can see anything. What? There is nothing. At this point now, I'm actually starting to question if what I'm hearing is even people at all, or if it's something else, because I should at least be able to see something. Kind of lurking, or people moving around or talking, or a light. I did see some lights here and there. Hold on. I don't know what it is that I'm hearing, but I don't think that's people. I don't know what the hell it is that I'm hearing. It sounds like it's coming from right in front of these chairs, these Masonic chairs here. Listen. I haven't even made it to the creepy area yet. It's back there down this road. It's like a dark area. But as far as right here, I'm hearing sounds of talking.
Frank listens closely, trying to locate the source of the voices. But something about the situation feels wrong. The sounds are clearly nearby, yet no one ever appears in view.
So there's a guy following me way up there. He just turned off his lights. He's in the darkness. You see him? He's right there. No matter where I go, he keeps coming in, turning off his lights. He just turned them off again. The thing is, he's following me around the graveyard. I don't know what his deal is. This is weird. He's like shining his high beams right at me, and I'm far away. Come on, man, now is not the time. I don't even know if they're just trying to scare me out of the graveyard, or is this the same person, or what? He's moving.
Then Frank notices something even more disturbing. A vehicle in the distance appears to be moving through the graveyard, following him. Every time Frank changes direction, the car seems to reposition itself into the darkness.
I don't know what his idea is or what his plan is. I still see him. He's driving with his lights off. This guy's trying to intimidate me.
Suddenly, the vehicle begins moving closer, with the headlights cutting through the darkness. Frank decides it's time to leave before the situation escalates.
It looks like our suspect is now leaving the facility. I knew you were hiding in the darkness. God only knows what it was. But there he goes. I think he knows he's been busted now because he sees me looking right at him. He's like, oh, that guy's right there. car.
Once the car disappears down the road, Frank cautiously returns to continue exploring the graveyard. But whatever was lurking out there earlier may not be gone.
There's another port to get inside this little area, and I don't know where it is. I don't know if I passed it or not, but I seem to be missing. I just got the whistle. Oh shit. Someone's whistling. That's how I know it's the same person. The same whistle. I just switched over to my night vision camera. I definitely got the attention of someone now. Oh, look. Right over there. There. Whatever it is, it's really pale. Can I help you? Yeah, that. I'm not getting anywhere near it. That's the trail right there. That's literally the trail. It's going back in. It just went right back in. I don't know what the thing is, but it looks cool.
Suddenly, Frank spots a pale figure standing along the trail. For a brief moment it appears in his camera, tall, thin, and strangely colored in the darkness. Then it disappears back into the woods.
Tonight was a crazy night, and I really believe somebody's living back there in the forest. I'm not sure what that is all about.
As Frank leaves the cemetery, he replays the night's events in his mind. The voices, the mysterious car following him through the graveyard, and finally, the pale figure standing on the trail. Was it simply someone hiding out in the woods? Were the people in the vehicle connected to it somehow? Or was something far stranger moving through that cemetery after dark? For now, the answers remain unknown. But the next encounter may be even more unsettling. Meet Charles, a YouTuber many viewers may recognize from his channel, Son of a Bear. Known for his passion for the outdoors, Charles spends much of his time exploring remote wilderness areas and sharing those peaceful moments with his audience. Most of the videos capture the beauty and quiet of nature, but on one particular day, the camera picked up something far more disturbing. On July the 18th, 2021, Charles was spending the summer living deep in the Blue Ridge Mountains, surrounded by forest and far away from noise of civilization. His days were usually filled with hiking, foraging, and enjoying the calm rhythms of the wilderness.
Welcome to the crib. This is a 10 by 10 wall tent that I live in for the summer. Let me show you around. I'm living in this 10 by 10 wall tent for the summer. It's on a 100-acre property outside of Asheville in the Blue Ridge Mountains. This tent has two of everything. 2 windows, 2 doors, 2 outhouses. The property has a farm, several houses, tons of dogs, animals, even a pond. I rent the tent on a 100-acre property that borders a national forest in the Blue Ridge Mountains. I'm surrounded by mushrooms and plants, and I go foraging every day and build campfire.
As Charles shows viewers around his temporary home, the environment looks peaceful. The massive forest surrounding the property seems like the perfect place to escape the noise and chaos of everyday life. Later that same day, Charles heads out on one of his usual routines, searching the forest floor for wild mushrooms.
And this one looks like it has a bite out of it. And this one. And there's one over here. Looks like it's holding some water. Huh? I think it's time to go.
Without warning, a terrifying scream erupts somewhere in the forest. It's loud, sudden, and sounds incredibly close. The sound is unmistakable. Someone somewhere in those woods appears to be screaming in agony. Charles immediately stops what he's doing. His voice drops to a whisper as he quietly says, "I think it's time to go." Realizing something could be seriously wrong nearby, he begins heading back toward the camp. Just moments later, another disturbing sound echoes through the mountains. Gunshots. Charles quickly pulls out his phone and begins recording as the sharp cracks of gunfire ring through the forest. Whether the gunshots were connected to the scream, he had no way of knowing, and he had no intentions of staying long enough to find out. He quickly returned to his campsite and reported what he had heard to the property owner, but even they had no explanation for what happened in those woods that afternoon. To this day, no one has come forward, and no official explanation was discovered. So what do you think happened out there in the Blue Ridge Mountains? Was someone in danger that day? Or did Charles unknowingly stumble close to something he was never meant to witness?
And that wraps up this episode. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe so we can keep bringing you more creepy, bizarre, and haunting tales. Check out the links below to dive deeper. And if you have your own creepy encounter, tell us in the comments. We might feature it in a future video. Until next time, sleep tight.